to my channel. This is Take a Breath with Alexis, and I'm Alexis, and it's November, y'all. So, for those of you who don't know, November is my favorite month, and you want to know why? Because it's Pulmonary Hypertension Awareness Month, and that is so important to me because I have pulmonary hypertension. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you out there are like, what is pulmonary hypertension? And yes, it is different than just regular hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension is the abnormally high blood pressure in your pulmonary arteries or your lungs. And because of that high blood pressure, it makes your heart, specifically the right side of your heart, work way harder than it's supposed to. Pulmonary hypertension is considered a rare disease. Only about 200,000 cases in the United States get diagnosed every year. It's a chronic disease, it's progressive, and unfortunately, there's no cure. So last year on my YouTube channel, I did a whole series on pulmonary hypertension. It's something that is really important to me, obviously, and I'm going to continue to do a series on pulmonary hypertension every November to raise awareness. This year, I really wanted to focus on how pulmonary hypertension led me to needing oxygen. So let's get into it. So I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension when I was 7 years old. Yes, that was 23 whole years ago. At that time, I did not require oxygen. I didn't need any oxygen. I wasn't even on any medication at the time. I was just living a really innocent 7-year-old life. When I was about 16, my doctor had told me that while I was in the cath lab, which I'll get into all of that shortly, but I was having a procedure, and they noticed that when I was using oxygen, that it really dilated my pulmonary arteries really well, and it brought my pressure in my lungs down. So at that point, he recommended that I wear oxygen at night. And yeah, I was worried about it, but it was fine because I was only wearing oxygen at night. Like, nobody would know about it. So then let's fast forward ahead to 3 years. I'm now 19 years old. I am out of high school. I am working and going to college. I lived a very active life. I felt my version of normal at the time, and I had a routine right heart catheterization. Now, right heart catheterization is an invasive procedure that a lot of people with pulmonary hypertension and other heart diseases get. Basically, our doctor will take a catheter and guide it up through a blood vessel in your groin. It can be in your neck. Some people even get it done on the wrist. And basically, they will guide that catheter all the way to your heart through the right side of your heart. And with that catheter, they will be able to see how well your heart's pumping. They'll also be able to get a good read on what your blood pressure is in your lungs, because all other methods that are not invasive are only estimates. So this is the way they can get the accurate, most reading. I have my catheterization done. Everything is fine. I'm in the ICU, which, me personally, I always go to the ICU after to recover, even if everything is fine. So my sweet doctor just shuffles on in, and he looks directly at me and he says, "Alexis, the pressure in your lungs are the highest that they have ever been. I am going to add a new medication to your routine, and I'm also going to prescribe you a prescription for oxygen for you to wear it 24 hours a day." I don't remember what he said after that. I lack the vocabulary to describe how it felt to be told at 19 years old that you need to wear oxygen 24 hours out of the day. I lack the vocabulary. Like, Devastation fits it, but it was a more intense loss than Devastation. Very quickly sank into a deep depression after leaving the hospital. I was crushed. My mind was boggled on how I was going to navigate my very young adult life with an oxygen tank strapped to me. Like, I was in college. Like, how was I gonna date? Like, just how am I supposed to handle this? When I got home, I very, very vividly remember that I literally Google searched young people with oxygen and I found nothing. Like, I just literally wanted to see images of people who looked like me, young people with oxygen. I couldn't find anything. I mean, the closest thing that I could find was like babies with oxygen, and then everything after that was seniors. You knew I was in a dark place when my mom, like right out of the hospital, she's like, hey, once you recover, why don't we go to Disneyland? And I was like, no, I don't want to go. You know, Alexis was in a dark place. So I did accept her offer to go to Disneyland. It was 2 months later, but I did accept it. And we were getting ready to go into the park. I had my electric scooter that I like to have with me in the park. And I remember my mom handed me my like oxygen concentrator, and I kind of was like, what do you want me to do with that? And I tried to like leave it, like I tried to just go around it, and she was like, no homie, you have to wear this in the park. And I just like broke down right there, and it was literally at the bellhop desk. I just like bawled my eyeballs out, and my uncle happened to be there, and my mom was like, well, what's the problem? And I was just like, I don't want people staring at me. Like, I'm already have people staring at me in the park because I ride around in an electric scooter. Lots of people have questions about that, but now I'm gonna have this electric scooter and an oxygen tank. Like, oh my goodness, everybody's gonna be staring at me. So my uncle had a brilliant idea of lending me his Ray-Bans because they would give me like a veil of privacy a little bit, and it totally worked, and I was able to get through that Disney trip. But that was literally the catalyst that led me to think this oxygen tank is going to be a part of my life, whether I like it or not. And it's a waste of energy for me to sit up here and just have these negative feelings and anxiety about it. Like, that's not a good use of my already very limited energy. After that trip, I really did start to think about how can I really accept this part of my life. So the first thing that I did is I decided to name my tank. I came to the realization that my tank in specific is female, and so I decided to name her Stella. And it's literally Stella because I just think of Marlon Brando yelling Stella in A Streetcar Named Desire. So that's where her name comes from. I tried to reframe the relationship of kind of like this annoying thing that I have to drag around everywhere with me. And I try to think of her as kind of like my best friend. Yes, sometimes we don't get along. We don't get along all the time, but she's my best friend, and she really helps me to be able to do all the things that I want to do. So that's one thing that helps me accept my oxygen tank. If you see me looking down, I'm just looking down at my notes so that I can stay focused and on task and not like be on tangent city. Another thing that helped me accept my oxygen tank was making it more portable, meaning making it easier for me to take places. Because when I first started living 24/7 with oxygen, the one thing that kept me from doing anything was lugging around those big green tanks. Like, nobody wants to lug that around. It's heavy. I already get tired fast enough. Like, I do not need another thing to tote around. So something that I have found super beneficial for me was investing in a smaller concentrator. It's so much easier, it's lighter, it's portable, and it made it just more convenient for me to bring Stella with me places. And another thing that helped me accept my tank was, first of all, I just had this fear that people were going to be staring at me and just wondering like, what's up with the oxygen? A way that I came up with to resolve that issue was that in some circumstances, you just gotta flat out tell people what's up. That came up in college. So I am a cardiac sonographer, or echo tech. That is my day job. And when I started my program, literally for the first whole week, I did not wear my oxygen. And it's not that I didn't bring Stella to class. Oh no, I brought Stella to class every day. I just chose not to wear her. I know it makes no sense. And that is because I was worried about what my fellow students were gonna think about me. And I said, you know what, this is not sustainable. I'm not gonna be able to get through the rest of this program without wearing my oxygen, so I just need to like flat out tell everybody, so then it's over with and that's it. So literally the second week of class, I told my teacher that I had an announcement, and he was like, cool, go ahead. And then like, I stood up in front of the class and I was like, hi, my name is Alexis and I have pulmonary hypertension and it requires that I wear oxygen, and this is my oxygen tank, and her name is Stella the Tank, and this is us. Thank you, bye. Literally verbatim. That's what I said. And my classmates were like, oh, we didn't even notice. And it wasn't, I didn't necessarily do that to them because like I said, they said they didn't even notice, but that just gave me like, I don't know, it just gave me peace of mind, you know? So sometimes you just gotta tell people, like, just rip the band-aid off and tell it. Most people will not make that big of a deal about it. But another thing that has truly helped me, I think, the most in accepting oxygen or wearing my oxygen has been dancing. As most of y'all know, I am a Polynesian dancer. As of late, I have been focusing on Tahitian dance. It is a true passion of mine, and I love it. And the reason why I love it is when I'm on the stage, I don't think about anything. You know, I forget that I'm 10 pounds heavier than I like. I forget that I have an oxygen tank in my backpack. You know, I forget about how nervous I was before I step on the stage. When I'm on the stage and I hear that drumming, it's just like Alexis in her purest, genuine-ist form. To see that wearing an oxygen tank, yeah, that makes me look different. I look very different than the other dancers, but to embrace that difference, you know, not to look at it as like, ew, a difference, but as something that makes me unique, has been truly enlightening and has helped me so much with my overall self-esteem. And I will be forever grateful to Polynesians and especially Tahitians for gifting me that experience and for being so open about sharing their cultures with non-Tahitian people. And it's just made such a powerful like impact on my life that it has truly helped me. Like, if you would have told me 4 years ago that I would not only be dancing with my oxygen tank, but I would be doing dance competitions with my oxygen tank, I would look at you and say you're crazy. But I did it. I do that. Now, I will say that I am not like fully accepting my oxygen tank, like I just strut everywhere around with it. No, I will definitely say the accepting process is like a journey. I'm always working on something. Part of my journey and my acceptance of Stella that I am actively working on is, I'm going to be super vulnerable. The thing I'm working on is me and Stella in the relationship sphere of things. Like, I'm 30, I'm getting older, I would like to meet a nice guy and settle down and all of that really romantical stuff. But sometimes I worry, will I find somebody who will accept not only me, but will accept all that comes with me, includes like all of Stella's baggage? I am very confident in who I am. I'm very secure. I realize that yes, I am all of that and a bag of chips. And I know that I am so much more than this disease and this oxygen tank. And I know that I am just as worthy of love as the next girl. But sometimes I think I don't wholeheartedly believe that. It's something that I'm working on, you know. It's things that I talk about it with my super supportive friends and family, but I also talk about it with my therapist, okay? I'm just keeping it 100. So yeah, that is my journey with oxygen up until this point. I feel like I should conclude with some type of wisdom nugget, and so here it is. So this is just something that I think to myself, and maybe it could help you. if you have pulmonary hypertension, or maybe if you have some other kind of chronic illness. But just remember that your disease does not define who you are, and continue to thrive in spite of the obstacle that your disease tries to throw at you, because girl, they be trying to mess up all of your dreams and plans, but keep moving. That is it for this video. Oh my goodness, we're starting off November with a huge bang. I will include links down below if you would like to learn more information about pulmonary hypertension, and also if you would want to donate to fundraisers so we can get closer to a cure, y'all. I will put all those links down below. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with the notification bell so that you will see the next episode of this series. And if you're excited for the next episode, give me a thumbs up. I am also going to do something different with this video, and I'm going to post it on my Instagram page too. I want as many eyes as I can to get on this video to raise as much awareness as possible. If you're watching this on Instagram, I will tag the different organizations where you can learn more information about pulmonary hypertension and places where you can donate to. And also do me a huge favor and share this, please. Like I said, I would like to get as many eyes as possible to raise the most awareness of this disease as possible, because let me tell you, this disease sucks. We need a cure. And with that, that's it. I will see you in my next one. Bye.